I had a question from one of my members about the difference between different chat platforms and how they might respond to a simple prompt. So here's a prompt that actually is about this particular member. Give me a list of 5 possible LinkedIn posts for the CEO of a hydraulics supply manufacturer for a broad audience. Now, I added the who they were and the fact that it's for a broad audience because I didn't want it to be about hydraulics. We're doing this in ChatGPT, but now I'm going to do this here, and then I'm going to do it in 2 other platforms, and we're going to see the results, the difference, and then the quality of the way the content might come out, the quality of creativity, etc. So we'll go ahead and do that one. I'm going to go, while we're waiting for this, and this is in GPT-4, I'm going to go over to Bard. This is the Google platform, and I believe, I'm not positive, that this is the brand new version of Bard that's actually, I think it's called Palm 2. And let's see what we're going to get here. And then I'm going to drop it in one more place. This is Jasper, which I have used several times, or several years now. Back in 2021 is when I started using this. Okay, so let's go back to our first prompt, which was in ChatGPT, post about a recent company achievement. It's actually giving us a suggestion for the prompt. It's a short one, and it's including some hashtags about company value or principle, about employee recognition, about industry news or changes, and about company engagement or corporate social responsibility. Okay, then there's some interesting things here. Let's go over to Bard and see what we get. Announcing new product or service, and then in this one, you'll notice back here, it's actually giving us the post. I'm incredibly proud to announce, blah, blah, blah. Here, it's saying this type of post is a great way to, so it's explaining why. Sharing industry news or trends. We sort of got something similar in ChatGPT. Providing educational content. Celebrating employee accomplishments. Again, we got something sort of similar. It was employee recognition, I think. Asking for feedback. That's a new one. And then there's a little summary, and you'll see these summaries in a lot of the output from these platforms. And then finally, let's look at the Jasper one. This one doesn't actually even give us the possible. Oh, it actually does. The way that I asked it was list 5 possible LinkedIn posts. So it's not actually summarizing them. It's just giving us the post. As a CEO, I'm proud to announce the latest designs to meet a variety of needs. That's kind of boring. We believe in innovation. Did you know that our systems are crucial to modern society? What sets us apart? So a distinguishing factor, which happens to be sustainability, and our equipment is versatile. This actually didn't respond as well as I had hoped to the way that I wrote the prompt. But this is, of course, step number 1 in a longer process, because none of these are actually sufficient posts. So I want to let's go back to ChatGPT, because I think it's going to give us the best outcome, but we'll try this sort of a follow-up in Bard as well, since it gave us some additional detail. And if we have time, we'll do Jasper. So I'm going to look at, let's talk about a post about company values, value or principle. So I like number 2 is what my answer is. Please rewrite it in a longer form, and what is the word I'm looking for? And I'll just say use professional tone and accessible language for I'm going to go back to this idea, broad business audience. Don't make it specific to the hydraulics industry. Make a broader point on the importance of values. All right. So that's number two in terms of my follow-up here. Let's see if there's... I don't remember if we had a something like this in Bard, but let's take a look. Announcing new product, sharing, providing educational content. Okay, so we don't have number values thing, but I'm going to give it that same prompt, except I'm going to please write a post on, and then what was the topic again? The topic was company value or principle. Post on a company value or principle in a longer form. Okay. Now, I don't know what it's going to give us, but we'll go ahead and ask it to do that. And I think I'm going to skip Jasper because it really has not followed the brief, as it were. Okay, I've gotten a much, much longer post here. And I don't know that I necessarily think this feels more like an article the way that I'm reading it, but so I'm gonna just say, let's see, adapt a bit to reflect the personality of a I don't know what I was trying to say here. I used the word accessible before, but to, let's just say, not reflect the personality, but to show more personality and engaging style of writing, but keep it mostly professional. Now, what I hope this is going to do, all right, is it's actually making it a little bit personal. So you see, I find myself reflecting on the underlying principles that guide our company's operations and interactions. There's a formality to that. What I was hoping to get when I said show more personality and engaging style of writing was what it actually ended up doing. I find myself sitting at my desk today, mulling over the principles that define us as a company. That makes it feel like it's coming from a person. And it didn't take me very much to get it to change that. I just needed to do a little bit of follow-up, and I probably could have said, make it sound more like a person and less like a, quote, executive, unquote, or something like that. And I might have gotten more, something more along these lines. Let's head over to Bard and see what we got. Yeah, this seems like quite formal. So, company values are the guiding principles that shape a business's culture and identity. Make it sound more like a person. Actually, let's go back and use the same one that I used here, because I'm curious to see what it's going to give us if we do. And you don't see in Bard, you don't see it typing out. You sort of just, it thinks, and then suddenly you have the result. So I believe that company values are the foundation of strong business. They are guiding principles that shape a company's culture and identity. All right, so it may basically put it from sort of third person objective here, point of view, to first person, but it really didn't give much more personality that I can see here, at least not immediately. These values are more than just words on a page. That gives it a little bit of personality. I believe that strong company values, but I don't see the kind of personality that we saw here when it says stuff like, let's see, it's important to take a step back, reflect on why behind the what, and what we do every day. One ethos stands out in my mind, just a phrase like that, ringing as clear as a bell. That makes it feel more like a person wrote it. So just a couple of ideas and tips and tricks, and playing around with these different platforms, because while ChatGPT in the 4.0 version gives some really good response, particularly when it comes to writing and sounding like a real human, or getting it to sound closer to a real human than Bard does. Jasper really let me down here, but Jasper is actually quite good at that. In fact, I'm going to go and ask Jasper just for fun to give us the response here, and I'm going to add one additional piece to it, because this is something that I love using, which is use visceral emotional language, and that's going to give us a little bit more expressiveness. I hope. All right, let's see what we get. So here we got, in business, success is often measured by profit margins and market share. However, we at company blah, 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 believe that, okay, there's still a bit more formality. So let's go back and we'll ask it for the be less formal. And we'll see what we get here. All right. Okay. I can't scroll up as it's writing, but in business, it's easy to get caught up in the numbers, profits, market share, and all that jazz. Okay, a little bit casual, but at our company, we know that there's more to success than just the bottom line. We believe that our core values, it's still, there's a little bit too much formality, more personal. Again, all right, let's see what we get. There we go. It starts with, let's be real for a moment, I think is what the phrase was. Let be real with you for a minute. See, it makes typos just like humans do. So it is being a little bit more human-like. At our company, we don't just talk our values, and then it actually slips back into the more formal character. So I'm actually a little bit let down here. We're a tight-knit group, and we work together to achieve our goals. We have each other's backs, and we know that we're stronger together than we are alone. It's okay. But, this head-to-head, and I really wasn't expecting to do a head-to-head battle, like this, but ChatGPT, for me, wins it in terms of feeling like it's the most human. And there's a lot of other tricks to getting it sound even more human, and we'll cover that in other videos, I'm sure. But for now, I hope that you recognize that there is value. It's not always going to be ChatGPT that's going to win the battle of the different chatbots. And you should test these out as much as possible. In fact, if you have Microsoft Bing chatbot and you use it in creative mode, you're going to get different output there too. And it's absolutely worth trying as many different tools as possible to see which one is giving you the best results for what you're trying to achieve. Hey, by the way, I'm David Baer, and if you have not visited us over at AI COTERIE, that's aicoterie.com, please, by all means, do. You'll find a lineup of my DIY courses on AI and marketing, and you'll learn a little bit about the consulting work that I do with small businesses.